Hello. Now that you've got Amaya unpacked and it's ready to go and it's loaded, notice that you give this, since I'm running OS X, I loaded it and then let it stabilize. It will flicker like a crazy bat before it settles down. That's not a fault of Amaya, really. It's the fault of this version was compiled for Leopard, and I'm running Yosemite. But they haven't done a more recent version, and quite honestly, I didn't download the source and recompile it, which I probably should have. The very first thing you want to do is you would like to customize Amaya. This is one of the few times I'll tell you you need to customize your software. In this case, mine is Amaya and Preferences. I've already clicked on that because it takes a long time for it to load the Preferences pane. All right. This is what it pops up for me. So under the General, I do want the Advanced profile. You definitely don't want Light, anything to do with Light. I don't care if it's Light plus Web plus CSS plus Math graphics. You want the Advanced profile because you're going to be doing advanced stuff with this. Right. The panel bar position is align right. I prefer that. You may change this to left or customizable. The dialogue, of course, I do it in English. If you have a preferred language other than English, it will do all those languages. Just for giggles, every once in a while when I'm feeling adventurous, I do it in German, just because I can. But most of the time I stay with English. You can specify homepage. I'm not, one way or the other. These down here on the bottom, right, the XML editing mode, there's no harm turning that on. Quite honestly, in HTML5, it's not necessary. Preserve lines when pasting, I like that. So if I'm going from web page to web page, or if I'm going from text editor to web page, keep multiple spaces. So if you hit the space bar twice, it doesn't just ignore the second time you hit it. It actually puts in the extra space. So I remember after every period, exclamation point, yada yada, you're supposed to have 2 spaces. It will just make your web page look good. Generate backup files, anti-aliasing, an ISO format for date. Please check all those. That will save you a lot of grief in the long run. All right. Do warn when closing multiple tabs, just because it's a good thing, and I leave the tip of the day on. For browsing, it's totally up to you whether you want to load image files. And if you want to load objects, apply cascading style sheets or turn that off. You can current screen type, you can say handheld, and it will show you how it's going to look on a handheld device. It will show you how it's going to look on a projector. That's wonderful. Notice we don't use TTY or TV anymore. Quite honestly, we use TTY if you are trying to interface to a Braille printer, but most people don't do that. Right? So I would just take a look at the handheld, the projection, and the screen. I leave it at screen for the moment. The handheld, by the way, means phone, not tablet. They haven't gotten to a version where they do tablet yet. All right, so just be aware of that when you're doing this. Publishing, you can leave alone, except for this. Character set for new documents should be ISO 88591. Not any of the other choices. Definitely not US ASCII, unless you know for absolute certain only people in the United States are going to, who speak English, not Spanish or any other language, are going to look at your document. UTF-8 is all right, but the ISO is a better standard. Your cache you can leave alone. Passwords, if a proxy, if you are behind a proxy server, if you're behind a firewall, you will need to do stuff with that. Colors, normally document foreground is black, right? So it's black text on a white background, so it looks like a piece of paper. That's the easiest thing for everybody to focus on. All right. Geometry or annotations, I like to put my name in the annotations piece just because. WebDAV, if you are using some external websites, they will allow you to set up WebDAV so that you can dump bunches of files at one time. YouTube actually has this built in. If you've ever tried to upload to YouTube, you get to the upload screen and you can grab 3 or 4 files simultaneously, drag them over, and drop. That's actually a WebDAV feature that they have just sort of boxed in and made idiot-proof. So, this allows you for WebDAV, check your website, your external web host, and if they have this facility, go ahead and configure it because this is hugely, hugely beneficial. And then, of course, templates, it comes with 3 templates, believe it or not. If you build a template, you can save it in here. And if you've got a canned or a stock set of templates that you offer to a client, for instance, and you say, oh, I can give you a green, or I can give you a red, or I can give you, or if you download anything from the OSWD or from CSS Zen Garden, you might want to put them in the templates section of Amaya. Right, or on your local hard drive someplace, so you can find them and pull them out as the functioning template that you want to begin developing your website. Right, mail in the RDFA you can leave alone. Right, I'm not changing mine because I already have all mine configured the way I want it. You can go ahead and use this as a web browser. If I go to the ubiquitous Google. Notice it flips. Again, that's just the compiled version. What I do want to show you is the views. You can hide the toolbars. I have all 3 of them on all the time. I just want that. But show structure. The show structure piece gives you all the containing tags. So there's your doc type. It's HTML5. What else would you expect from Google? All right, then it starts with the HTML tag. Then it starts the header piece of this. Notice the enclosing bracket. Everything under the heading title or heading tag is enclosed within this line. Anything under the line is a sub piece to that head. Like title is a tag inside head, and it just tells you Google. And then it goes script. Notice that this ends right after Google, and it comes back out to script. Then this is your JavaScript to load the page. Then it goes to style, 2 style sheets. Then we kick back out. We have ended the head tag. Now we're back to the body tag, and this is the whole part of your body. This is very, very handy if you're trying to diagnose style problems. If you've got, say, embedded lists, so you're trying to do an outline, for instance. You would want this because you're not getting the correct letter or number to show up on the particular item that you are using. Well, here you can look at that structure to see if indeed your tag is in the right place at the right level. If it's not, then you must fix it. You must correct that. Under view, of course, you can split this thing vertically. When I'm looking at the structure, I absolutely want to see it vertically, whether it's on the left or the right, I don't care, because it's easier for me. When I show the source for the page, however, where I get to see all the tags and everything else, I don't want to see it on the right or the left. I absolutely want to split this thing horizontally. I want to put all those tags on the bottom, because this thing allows me to edit. If I click on this at the top, if I click on the Google logo, right, the image, notice that it brings me down here. Notice that little red triangle in the bottom of the screen. That is showing me where that tag is in this page. Notice image, alt, Google, height, source, yada, yada, yada. If I delete this thing up here, it will change dynamically down here. If I find something down here and delete it dynamically down here, it will automatically change up there. All right, so these two things are linked. When you're developing web pages, this is tremendously helpful, all right, as is this right-hand toolbar. So that's what I want to do. The next thing I want to do is actually do a web page now that we've got sort of the basic fundamentals of this down pat. And it's all configured and ready to go. The next thing we are going to do is, of course, go up to File, New, and we are going to start a new document. And that's where we'll be when we start the next video.